Jambo mambo familia angu. Karibu, 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 karibu. Habari gani? Mimi Eli-Ben-Eli. And I haven't been around for the last couple of days due to failing health. I have had some health issues. This part of the United States has gotten mighty cold, and the coldness has made has made me feel a little bit ill, but that's okay. I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. I'm not a sprightly young man anymore, but that's okay. There are people that are a lot younger than me that are 6 feet under the ground. So I thank Allah for the fact that I'm still here. Please, my friends, if you haven't liked or subscribed, take an opportunity to like and subscribe my channel. I wanted to make a couple of commentaries about some of my people that I have an interest in in YouTube. I'm fascinated by the scam that Marwa was pulling. And he, on trending, busted him. Apparently, he managed to find some way to hang on to one of the shirts that belonged to the company that was guarding his compound during the fiesta de esta at the Villa Medellin, el Palacio, at the Gran Medellin Palacio, hosted by, of course, he who walks tall beyond the corn, he who walks among the trees, he who has acquired land as far as the sun rises and sets. Of course, and I speak of His Majesty, the one and only Gran Cuba Marwa. Apparently he managed to hold on to one of the shirts belonging to that company and gave it to that woman who is now his uniform guard. And I don't know whether people think in these terms, but now that his compound was burglarized and stuff was stolen, they are trying to, some people are blaming it on this company, and they're saying that this company isn't doing a good job. Okay, I don't know whether many of you are aware of something. There are two kinds of laws in English societies, and most former English colonies derive their legal system from the English legal system. There are civil and criminal cases, okay? On the civil side, there is something that's called defamation. Defamation is when I say something that's a lie about you, that causes you damages. In effect, Marwa has committed an act of defamation. And by virtue of the fact that it was transmitted over the internet, it becomes libel. He has libeled this company by putting them in a position in which it looks like if an employee of theirs was negligent in a fashion that led to his compound being burglarized. By her wearing that uniform, it makes it seem as if that company is responsible. And that is not an accident. My personal theory is that Marwa knew full well the consequences of having her parading around in a uniform. People were going to think, oh, the company is still guarding his compound. In effect, Marwa may have defamed this company, may have libeled this company. If it's just spoken defamation is slander, okay? Spoken defamation is slander. If it is written or published in any way, it becomes libel. Okay, so let's say that me and you are having a problem and I start going around spreading falsehoods about you. that is slander if I'm doing it verbally. If I do it in writing or transmit it over the internet, that in effect becomes a libel. So if I was Marwa, I would really clean this thing up very, very quickly, because in just about every society that I know of, a slander suit can be a very expensive suit. It can end up with it losing the Villa Medellin. Okay, and it's something that it needs to be careful of. Right now, my understanding is that the king is preparing to travel, and I would advise him to clear this up before he begins to travel. Okay, going to the compound of Diane Kemi. One of my favorite people on YouTube is Diane Kemi and her sister Baby Carol. Baby Carol went on a trip. For a while, she hung out with her friend Elector, but now she's come back, and it's good that she's back with her sister. We spent a period of time with the Maasai, and I'm not gonna deny it. I'm fascinated by the Maasai. Okay, I'm fascinated by them. The only problem that I have with the Maasai is that they have a certain attitude about what women can do and what women cannot do. Speaking as a man who has a daughter and a stepdaughter, I like to think that and I have granddaughters. I want society to give my granddaughters as many possibilities as they can have. And I don't want them being relegated to a second-class status because they're women. Okay? Personally, I have met a lot of men who were complete and total morons, and I have met a lot of women who were very intelligent people. I say, let people advance or not advance based on their gift, not on their sexual identity. Anyway, and the other thing that I was very interested in is I was watching videos about Coco Girl and DeeMuango, and I'll say this: no, the hair on the head of a Rasta are not called Rastas; they're called dreadlocks. And why do Rastas wear dreadlocks? They wear dreadlocks because of a passage in Leviticus that orders men not to tamper with the corner of their beards or not to make bald spots on their head. Hasidic Jews and Rastafarians have done something which in Judaism is called beautifying the mitzvah, beautifying the commandment. In other words, God asks you, not to mar the corners of your beard. What you do in order to express your love of God is you let your beard just grow. You don't even touch it because you don't want to risk violating that commandment. God commands you to, not make any bald spots on your head. Not only do you let your hair grow where rastas are concerned, you let it grow uncombed, and thus it forms what are called locks, okay, because the hair locks and becomes like a human felt, okay. That is called a dreadlock. There are two reasons why they're called dreadlocks. There was a time when slavery was introduced to Jamaica and slaves were brought there. The Maroons and other runaway slaves would run into the woods to escape slavery, and there they did not have access to razors or whatever, or they just didn't cut their hair, and their hair grew long and matted into strands. And one of the reasons that they're called dreadlocks is this: when the colonizers and the whites would see those men in the woods with their hair grown that way, they knew that they were dealing with escaped slaves, because slaves that had not escaped would be made to cut their hair. They also understood that the men who wore their hair that way, those escaped slaves, were some of the most vicious and determined fighters on the face of the earth. Without any weapon, without anything in their hands other than a piece of stick or a rock, they were prepared to fight to the death. They were prepared to fight until they themselves were killed, or those attempting to capture them were killed. And so whenever the British would see the hair, they would be filled with dread. And that's how they came to be called, that's one of the reasons that they came to be called dreadlocks. But Rastafarians call them dreadlocks because we are supposed to love God and we are supposed to fear Him. And the way that they show that they fear God, their dread of God, is by letting their hair grow that way. How do I know this? There was a time when I used to have what's called a syncretic belief system, meaning a system of belief, of religious belief that combines two systems of belief into one. I used to live, I was a Seventh-day Adventist, but there are a lot of similarities in between a Seventh-day Adventist and a Rasta. Seventh-day Adventists, like Rastas, believe in practicing a vegetarian diet. They eat a clean diet. There is a subset among the Rastafarians that are called Christafarians. Christafarians are Rastas who believe in everything that a traditional Christian believes in regarding Christ, and they do not consider the Emperor Haile Selassie to have been God made flesh. So Christafarians are more akin to Messianic Jews, and the thing about Christafarians is that a lot of the time it's very, very easy if you're a Seventh-day Adventist to live a lifestyle pretty much like theirs. I was a vegetarian. I let my hair grow with dreadlocks, and I kept the Sabbath, which most real Rastas do. And I used to go to a lot of places in which there were a lot of Rastas. I knew a lot of Rastas. And they would see me and they would go, "One love." And I would answer them, "One love." And nobody ever bothered really inquiring about whether or not I was an actual Rasta or not. I was accepted as a Rasta. And I don't know whether technically I would be considered a Rasta or not. My religious affiliation at the time was primarily to the Seventh-day Adventist Church. And for a lot of reasons, I gave up wearing dreadlocks. I, as a Jew who practices Orthodox Judaism, could wear dreadlocks and my beard. I choose not to do that because my skin becomes very itchy due to the fact that I am diabetic. So I just can't do it. But anyway, the point is that the hair grown in that fashion are not called Rastas. That is ignorance of the culture. They are called dreadlocks. Some people who now maintain that in modern times society has changed call them love locks. Okay, and if you ever watch the Rastas doing a Nyobingi session of worship, Nyobingi being the true sacred music of Rastas, Nyobingi music is very rhythmic, it's based on drums and singing. It is not reggae. Reggae is a popular form of music created by members of the Rasta community. Okay, but it is not the sacred music of Rastas. The sacred music of Rastas is called Nyobingi. Okay, but anyway, if you ever watch a session of worship among the Rastas, where they're singing and practicing Nyobingi music, you'll notice that most of the men wear dreadlocks. At any rate, Asante Asana for watching my channel for this long. If you watch a video this long, please, folks, help my channel to keep growing. If the power is in your hand to help it to keep growing, so smash that button and help me to get to to 600 and hopefully 1,000. In the meantime, again, asante asana for watching my channel, and let's make everything hakuna matata for this channel, you know. And in the meantime, once again, I look forward to seeing you in the near future. Bear with me. I'm coping with the health problems that come with living in the cold. Quiet.